Hello, YouTube. Let's address today what to do when you doubt yourself. Now, you may have been feeling some doubts around what should you be doing with your life? Are you doing the things that you should be doing? Now, you might be thinking that you want to step onto a different path and do something different and something that's not what you've always been told that you should do, and then you're having doubts about that. Maybe you've already been on the journey for a while and it hasn't really created the results that you desire, so now you're having doubts whether or not you should stay. So doubt comes in so many different places on the journey, but what we want to do about it is quite similar. So if you're experiencing that sense of doubt, I would really invite for you to just listen in. I'm not going to spend too much of your time today, so please stick with me and let me know what you think in the comments, if this is helpful at all, if you have any questions. So doubt creeps in because we do or want to do something that is not what we've been told to do, or something that doesn't feel like it's something that we want to do. And therefore, there are several things to this. First thing is always recognizing the fact that we are programmed. So whatever we feel is the right thing to do is something that we have been told. This is what you're supposed to do. This is what success looks like. It's very narrow. It's a very tunnel vision. This is what success looks like. And if you do anything else than this, then you are putting your life at risk because it's not safe, right? We're given this idea around safety that getting your degree and getting a job is what is being safe. Anything else is not safe. If you want to go into arts, if you want to go into entrepreneurship, it's dangerous, right? But on the other hand, if you create your own life, your own business, and you create your own clients and you manage your own talents, there's no one who can come and fire you like that, right? Nobody can just pull the rug under you in the same way, unless you're an entrepreneur that has like one client. Being employed is like being an entrepreneur with one client. And it has nothing to do with safety. But regardless, this is what we're raised with, right? If you're raised differently, please let me know. But this is what everyone I know have been told. Get a degree, get a job. You're supposed to do this. You're supposed to go in this direction. This is the smart thing to do. And when we're always guiding ourselves by what is the smart thing to do, we are getting completely disconnected from what is it actually that I want to do. What does my heart desire? And I know that there's a lot of big coaches out there these days who says you should not follow your heart. Your heart doesn't know anything about the marketplace. To some extent, yes. To some extent, yes. There are definitely things that are difficult to monetize. But I really think that you can find a way to monetize pretty much anything if you just figure out a way to communicate to your ideal audience that they want the thing that you have. That's for a different video. So if you feel disconnected from what you're doing because you're doing the smart thing to do that everyone else has told you throughout your life that this is what you're supposed to do, we lose that passionate connection to what we do when we only work from the head. If we don't have the heart, the soul, the playfulness, the creativity connected to what we're doing, we live only in our heads, we cannot possibly be emotionally connected as well because we cut off that. Right? I did that a lot. I've done this so much. I spent most of my life not being able to make decisions about what I wanted to do because I was so disconnected from what I actually wanted to do. I had no idea what I wanted to do. And I had zero confidence in myself and I had no self-esteem. So I couldn't possibly make important decisions for my life myself. Someone else had to do that, right? Somebody else had to come and say, this is a smart thing to do. And I was like, oh, okay, let me go ahead and do this. Just to find out that I was not excited about that at all. And eventually I reached a place where I was like, maybe we're just not supposed to be excited. Maybe we're all supposed to just secretly hate our lives. Until I discovered that we don't. But there was so much doubt on my journey because of that. And I didn't realize how strong my programming was. And that's why I'm saying one of the first things that we need to recognize is that we're programmed. We're programmed to believe that one thing is true and everything else is wrong. But that's just not how the world works. And especially not now. We have a very dynamic world. We have a very fast-growing world where almost everything becomes possible. You can make money in so many different ways. And it doesn't even have to be a full-time thing anymore. You can make a full-time wage doing something as a side project. We see this all the time. Now, it takes skills and understanding and time to build what you need in order to be able to do that. But regardless, do you want to spend 5 years getting a master's degree, or do you want to spend 5 years figuring out how you can make money for yourself, right? That's the decision. I made the decision that I needed a master's degree because I did not see that there were any other options. And that master's degree has brought me, I don't know, it might have given me my first job. It might have been one of the things that, they hired me because I had a master's degree. Who knows? But the thing is, I doubted myself for such a long time. Even up until and while I was doing coaching. When I started as a coach, I doubted myself so much. And I didn't doubt myself that I was a good coach. I doubted that people would pay me for coaching. Because again, it came down to my self-esteem and my sense of confidence. And again, that came back to the programming, understanding that your program, whatever doubt you're having, comes from programming either around yourself, your idea of yourself and your sense of worth, your sense of confidence. That is all programmed. That is something that developed throughout the years that you've been alive. That has nothing to do with your inherent value. The other one is around these are the right choices and these are the wrong choices. And none of this is true. It's just your programming. Once you understand that the programming is what is making you doubtful, you can start challenging your programming. You can start thinking, where is this actually true and where is it not? It gives you the opportunity to question your beliefs. And when you're able to see your programming from what it is, and what I do is that I go back into my memories and I try to figure out how was this programming planted in the first place. It's as almost as if I can see how it was planted. It's almost as if I can see, okay, these are the situations that created this idea around myself, and these are the situations that created this idea around what am I supposed to be doing with my life in order to be considered successful. And then you take all of that and then you compare it to a more objective view of yourself and of the world, because the world is not the same world we grew up in. If you're in your 20s or older, the world is not the same as you grew up in, which means that there's a lot opportunity. Even during COVID, that everything went online to a degree that it was not before. It changed a lot around what is possible. What can you do? One thing that I love doing is looking at what are other people doing and then figuring out what is it that they're really good at that makes it possible for them to do things in this way. And there's something quite cool about seeing somebody who's not really that profound, right? It's relatively basic stuff that they're teaching, and they're making a ton of money off of it, which is incredible. I love that. I don't do it from the perspective of, oh, I'm better than them, so I should be. No, they obviously are doing things that I'm not doing. They obviously know something that I don't, but the overall package of what they're delivering is not something that I couldn't, which makes it very easy for me to say, okay, what exactly is it now that I'm missing? Because there's always something missing if you don't have it. So my doubt is very easily challenged that way. Another way to do is borrow somebody else's belief in you. This is what one of my coaches that said, borrow my belief in you until you have your own belief in you. And it was really impactful, because when you have someone who is way ahead of you in whatever arena you're looking to improve in, right? Whether it is in business or it's in relationships or it's in health and fitness, if they believe in you that you can achieve those things, we have this idea that they know, right? They would know if I would not be able to do this. But when they come and say, you can 100% do this, you are excellent, whatever doubts you're having is in your head, then you can start borrowing that belief and you start acting against your own belief that you're not good enough or that you have these doubts. And then you start taking on somebody else's belief in you and you work based on that. And then after you start applying, then you start gaining the experience. And this is one of the things when I started coaching for a while, I did not know how to charge for it. And it was like I would charge $50 for a session and I would freak out, right? And then I did a lot of the inner work. I was working with a coach and I did a lot of the inner work on my pricing and understanding my own value. And within a month, I went from charging like $50 to closing a $3,000 sale, like that. And since then, it's been a lot easier to now, the first one was terrifying. Now it's so much easier to sell my trainings to corporates for a much higher amount. So you have to kind of it's true that you have to start doing things in order to show yourself that your doubt is misplaced. Your doubt is there because you have not yet proven to yourself that you can do it. And you need to start doing it in order to prove to yourself that you can do it. But there's also this thing around really understanding why the doubt is there in the first place. It really has nothing to do with you and your inherent value. It doesn't have anything to do with whether you're good enough to do the next thing. It doesn't have anything to do with dogs. It doesn't have anything to if you've been on the path for a while and you feel like it's not working, well, it's because there's something there that's not working. And it could be that your doubt is becoming subconsciously the obstacle for you to get to your success. It can also be your focus. When I had a period of time where I felt like I was constantly not making sales and I was constantly not getting the traction that I needed and that I wanted. And I had to shift my idea away from it being about me, right? It being about me selling and making money. And instead, it had to be around, how can I serve more people? How can I increase my service? How can I strengthen my service? How can I do more for more people and understand that I am helping people when I'm selling them something? It's not just about me getting the money, it's about the thing that I give to people. And once I made that shift, it's like almost from 1 minute to the other, I had people in my inbox. I don't even know what happened. I had people in my inbox wanting to work with me. I had suddenly all of the emails that had gone unresponded. Suddenly I had people following up and wanting to have meetings to see if I can deliver their leadership trainings. And so a lot of that was around, for me, is around removing that focus I had, because I had a lot of, still sometimes, right? I had that idea that, if I'm just here for the money, then this doesn't feel right. And I had to remind myself it's not about the money. The money is nice, don't get me wrong. But that, as long as that was my main focus, I wasn't able to kind of move into the energy that I needed in order for me to gain the traction that I wanted. So I had to do that mind work, the energetic work, before I was able to create the results that I wanted. And as soon as I find myself again where I feel like things aren't really moving, I'm asking myself, what is your focus right now? What are you focused on? What are you thinking about? Are you just trying to push yourself out there so that you can make more sales, or are you trying to put yourself out there so that you can help more people? And I always end up in this space where once I'm actually out there helping more people, they get really grateful and they're like, thank you so much. This helped me a lot. And then I'm reminded I'm doing this for a reason. That feeling I did not have that feeling at all when I was working in the path that I had been programmed to move myself on. So if you have doubts around whether or not you're doing the right thing for you, I would ask yourself, why are you doing the thing that you're doing? Are you doing it because you feel like it's the smart thing to do? Or are you doing it because you're feeling really good about doing it? Do you feel really happy on this path? Because that's another element of doubt, is figuring out, am I even doing what I should be doing? So are you on this path because you have been always told that this is a great path for you to be on? That's a smart path for you to be on. Or are you on this path because you're really feeling good and accomplished and fired up by the thing that you're doing. Because if you really love what you do, it's incredibly hard. If you really love it and you're getting a lot of results and you're serving people in a way that makes them excited, it becomes really hard to be doubtful that you're doing the thing that you're supposed to be doing. I know some people who are just so deeply passionate about what they do. It's like that is their thing. There's just no way they could be doing anything else. And whether or not they're in the right space will never be a doubt for them. It will never be a doubt for them because it is who they are. Now, there can then be doubts about, am I doing it in the right way? And then it comes back to figuring out, why are you being doubtful? Have you tried it for long enough to see if it actually works? Have you gotten the feedback that you needed to figure out if you're giving people what they want? Is there something else that could be in the way? Is this doubt coming from a place of insecurity? Is it coming from a place of fear? Because those should never be guiding where you're going and how you're doing it. If you're in doubt, look at your programming. And that's one of the things that just makes personal development such a beautiful tool. Because it helps you figure out what are you doing and why are you doing it. And then that can help you figure out, why am I so disconnected to this thing that I'm doing? Now, you might be personally very connected and feeling like this is exactly what I want to do. But maybe people don't understand what you're doing. It's very common in the entrepreneurial space that you are here pouring your heart out and you want to do this thing and you want to help people with this thing. People don't understand why they should do it. They don't understand what really it is that you're doing. And then it comes down to communication. It comes down to having enough conversations with people to understand their language, and so that you can understand, what words do I need to use in order for them to understand it. And once you reach a place where you're able to talk to people in a way that they understand it, and they understand that that is something that they want to have, and they understand the outcomes that are associated with it, and they understand that they want to work with you on it because you know exactly what you're doing in it, now you can start getting some more of that traction. So it was a 17 and a half minutes of saying, figure out why you're doubtful. Figure out, where is your doubt? Where does it come from? And then figure out, how does this relate to your programming. The programming is everything, man. The programming is just so important. When people ask, personal development is not that important, I'm just like, how is your life not important? Is what you do with your life not important? Because personal development is all of that. Personal growth is all of that. You cannot consistently do something that is not aligned with who you are. Personal growth, personal development is all about stepping into being the best possible version of you. That is not just the most productive. It's not about being the person who does a lot of stuff. It's about being a lot of stuff. And once you're being a lot of stuff, you can also be a lot of happy, you can be a lot of excited, you can be a lot of joyful, peaceful, whatever it is that you want to achieve. And then once you've reached a stage of just feeling really good, most of the time, always leave room for the sadness and for all the other stuff that comes up. Because if we want to feel one end of the scale, there should be room to feeling the other end of the scale. But once you've reached that point, it becomes so much easier for you to figure out, is this what I want? It is incredibly hard to make decisions and trust in your decisions if you cannot feel your decisions. So, that might have been kind of a fluffy video today. I hope this was helpful. I have a plan of changing my 3 videos per week to 1 video per week, but then doing that 1 video as a masterclass. So if you have anything that you would want to sign up for a masterclass for, just a 1-session masterclass, not like a 5-day masterclass, at least not yet. If you have something that you've been wanting to learn on a more deeper level, please let me know, because that will help my inspiration. I think my first one is going to be about teaching the fundamentals of identity shifting. What is it? Why do we do it? How do you do it? And then giving a very clear step-by-step, this is exactly what you do. And this is what I charge thousands of dollars to teach corporates, because that can help them under leadership. So if that's helpful, I would love to know. Hi, Milo. Anyways, thank you for today and have a beautiful week ahead. Bye.